Shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High. Saints of Israel, I greet you in love and peace. Let me fix myself so y'all know. I try not to make it look like I'm trying to put up a show like I'm on the media, man. I'm trying to make it look as raw and real as possible. I'm not an anchor. I'm not Oprah. I ain't trying to get dressed nice. I'm trying for the message to be nice. Anyway, today we're going to continue with what we call the Let There Be Light series. This is going to be chapter 6. We're still in the book of Bereshit, but we're also in other books of the inspired prophets to describe the purpose of all this is to wake up the mind, for us to be a guide or a beacon of light, for us to get our minds back. Your mind is completely under control of the system. You might not want to identify it as Satan or whatever, but whatever it is, it ain't Yah. And whatever it is, if you are serving a God that still doesn't allow you to be free and have full control of your time, there's a process now. I'm not saying to stop your job, but I'm saying now to consider who you work for. Consider who you worshiping. Consider the institutions that you are praying in. Consider the clothes that you wear. Consider who makes your food and who determines what's health for you. Consider who gives you your water supply and what is in the water. Find out now that you got chloride in water. You got fluoride in toothpaste. You got all of these different rides and hides and different chemicals. So all of that has put us in darkness. So we started with day one in a beginning when the God brought the new man, and your mind was astonishingly empty. He said, let there be light. So then once he woke you up, then he made a distinction. He separated you from the light from the dark. This is the same formula that Genesis talks about when he did a rebirth. This is the same formula that we are going to use in this Bereshit inside of your head to recreate yourself and to save yourself. So we did day one. Day one was let there be water. It was astonishing. He said, and he made a lahavdil. That means lahavdil. That word means to make a difference. It means to distinguish, to separate, to segregate, to divide. So now he divided inside of our minds dark thoughts, negativity from positive energy. He made a difference now. He made it visual as well. He said on the second day, and God said, let there be firmament in the waters, and let it separate between. So when he reached in, the fire was, he said, let there be light, he actually bought a sun. The sun ended up coming into this orbit. So that means that now that same light, you probably don't see, because the body is a bunch of atoms, teeny atoms connected together. So just imagine when the sun became visible back on this earth again. How many people that dwelled in darkness, the fallen ones, how many died, how many was consumed because filth and light ain't mixing. Darkness and light didn't mix. So the light had consumed a whole world of chaos. And then that sun is able to shine straight through your head. And then it started bringing life to the mind again. So think about that as well, as far as the light penetrating. And then when he separated between the firmament of the waters, I told you what rakia means. He made a difference between, and he raised up spiritual firmament to be in the heavens, and then he left waters here, and then there's waters beneath the earth. And God called the firmament heaven. He called this higher level of consciousness heaven. And dry land appeared. Then that means that now we were able to see matter. We were able to see each other and know that that's human. And then he said, let things grow from that. That means that we could feed off each other now. We would understand each other. Those who were put into the light would have a different understanding. We would be able to communicate. So then after that, he said, let the dry land appear, and it was so. And Yah called the dry land earth, which I told you in Hebrew is aretz, and has a whole nother meaning. It means that he let creation, the beginning of all things, which is the Aleph, enter into your rosh, which is your mind, and cause now to have, he gave you what you call tzaddik, which is righteousness. So now he gave you a righteous mind. He said, and there was the second day. Now this was the second day. This is the day. Now he's organizing the earth when he created. He said, and God said, let the waters beneath the heavens be gathered into one area. Let the righteous that are under the heavens be gathered into one area. And he called, he said, let the waters beneath the heavens be gathered into one area. And to gathering of the waters he called sea. To the gathering of the waters he called sea. And we know that in the scriptures further on down the line, when he calls sea, he's talking about a people. And Yahweh said, saw that it was good, and said, let the earth sprout herbage, yielding seed, fruit trees, yielding fruit after its kind, containing its own seed on the earth. Now, he's saying that let now this physical body, your mind, begin to yield seeds. Let it now give you the ability to be able to think, to produce thoughts that will give life to one another. That means that now knowledge plasma was instituted into the mind. First he gave earth, he gave us the ability to have a physical form or to be able to see things in the physical. And then he said, now let this bring forth seeds. Let each one of us have creative ideas and a creative mind to be self-sustaining. He said that the seed would have to produce after its own kind. Listen to me now. Now the seeds that we plant, the seeds of righteousness, the seeds of dwelling in this light will allow us to reproduce only righteousness, just like their system reproduce whatever in darkness. But all of this had to come into the light. Anything planted in the dark inside of your mind would take form into the light, and it would be able to reproduce. Now, while this is going on in your mind, simultaneously, this is what your mind had the ability, Yah had given your mind the ability to create this and make this become a reality. The reason why you see trees and fruit is because you perceive it. Your mind is able to make that be. It would not be if your mind did not see that. Imagine if you lose your mind and you can't see again, then this stuff would not be visible and then it wouldn't exist. So he brought into existence into your mind the ability to plant seed, the ability to see trees and reproduce after their kind, and so will you have the ability to do the same. But he created this first in the mind before he even manifested you into a whole body on the planet right now. This is just him creating all creation before he places you there. But it's in your mind. He said, in every herbage seed after its kind, and trees yielding fruit, each containing seed after its kind. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening and morning on the third day. So the third day was the ability for us to use our mind to think and create. Now he's doing this to creation before he placed us there, because all of that is a part of God. So he's putting the whole thing in order before he even put man there. So man was supposed to be bound by the system that was already in place. That's why he made it first. Other than that, he would have made man at the beginning and had him helping around doing all of this. But he didn't do it like that. Now when we see here what it says, 9, and God said, let the waters beneath the earth. So we're talking about Tet. V'yomar Elohim yikvu hamayim mitachat hashamayim el makom echad v'tir'eh yevisha v'ayu ken v'yireh Elohim et yevisha v'et haaretz ule mikveh hamayim v'kara yamayim v'yireh Elohim ki tov v'yomar Elohim tidsheh haaretz Deshe, Esev, Mazria, Zera, Eitz, Pri. Now, all of these words are connected. When he says Etsev, Esev, he's talking about the eye. The ayin in Esev is called ayin, sheen, and vav. The eye would see things in the light that would cause be able to process and make a change in the world. So when he put inside of our minds, now we'll be able to sprout forth ideas from what we see that will cause us to bring into fruition change and the process of learning now, the process of doing things, the process of learning how to plant food, the process of learning how to sustain life based on the fact that We have the eye now of God. The Rakia gave us the eye of Yahweh. So now we can be able to see as gods. Just before he even put us here now, this all in the mind. And Zerah, the Zion is the communication letter. Zion represents communication, so now he gave us the ability to communicate with each other telepathically now. This is where it come in at. Zion represents Zion, Reich. It sounds like they translate it to seed, but it actually means that he gave us the ability to communicate through the head and through from communication between Yahweh to our Rosh, the head, and then through our eyes will keep us connected to Yah. So now we can communicate with one another as gods, and then we can produce fruit, children and offsprings, or produce results of everything in this creation. This is what the mind, all of this was the mind being developed before he even said, let us make man in our image. This is what he working on when he say creating heaven and earth. This is all this work is taking place in the mind before he put you here now. We own something. He said, and God said, let there be luminaries. Okay, I had to push pause because there was some few distractions. So now we get into day 4. Day 4 is Yud Dalet. V'yomar Elohim yiheh me'orot barakia hashamayim lahavdil ben hayom uven halayla. Ve'yeh le'otot ulemoadim ulayamim ve'shanim ve'hayu le'mo'orot Berakia hashamayim lehair al haaretz vayakin. He said, and Yahweh said, let there be luminaries in the firmament of the heavens to separate between the day and the night. Okay. And they shall serve as signs for festivals, for the days and years. And they shall serve as luminaries in the firmament of the heaven to shine upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great luminaries, the greater one to dominate the day, and the lesser luminary to dominate the night and the stars. Okay, that's very, very interesting. So how do we relate that to the mind? He says, now, and Yah said, let there be luminary, let there be orot. Now in Hebrew, orot is, now we're going back, all of this stuff has the resh, which is all represents the rosh, which is the head. He said, me'orot barakia. So now in this mist that he cleared up, that he pulled up to the heavens, so in your upper mind, in the brain, he put signals that will be make you aware, that will always constantly be lightened, so that when the darkness tries to overcome you, when the darkness tries to overtake you, these luminaries, these things, this is what we call the first mind. When you're in a situation and something say don't do it, he put stuff there in place. These are what you call the angels, a host that he put in the heavens, in the upper level of your mind, spirit world, to protect you at all times and to protect evil from coming into your mind, if you so let it be like that. So now let's look up what he said right here. He said, he said to be a light, so luminaries in the firmament of the heaven, in the higher realm of your consciousness upon the earth. Now, and so when your physical body, so now you will have luminaries. That means that we will be able, first he told us we will have communication. He will put people there, and that he will allow us to communicate, bring forth vegetation, meaning we will have the ability to learn how the process of creation, to do things, to communicate with one another telepathically. Now this was before we was talking language. This is all these words are manifesting from thought. Now he's saying, let it separate between night and day. Now he's saying that these luminaries will be guides. These angels that he put in place will be a guide to keep you between night and day, to keep you separated. Now, just in case you slipped in your physical form, this consciousness, this level of consciousness, these enlightenments, that's why when they look at the brain, it's constantly sparking. Those are the luminaries. If you ever seen somebody with an MRI and you saw behind the thing, you're going to see energies popping. These are the things that he put in the heavens, inside of your head as well as it is in the sky, to continuously be like a guide, to keep you boom, boom, boom. It triggers to keep you between light and darkness, to let you know that these are the watchers to keep you now in darkness, away from darkness, and to keep darkness away from you. He said, and the luminaries in the firmament of the heaven to shine upon the earth, to shine inside of your mind, and it was so. And God made the two luminaries, the greater luminary to dominate the day, and the lesser to dominate the night. Now we look up the word dominion. Yad Elohim me'orot berakia shemayim lahavdil ben hayom ve'alayla. Lahavdil, like I said, lahavdil means to distinguish, to separate, to divide, to segregate. So now we're talking about separate from what? To divide from what? To divide from what's going on in this world, but to separate. Now we would know the difference. We would know. So then Laila, when you look at it now, also means darkness. It also means night, but then inside of your mind, what would be a night? It would be darkness. It would be a place where you can't control, where you can't see. So then he gave you some sparks where in the back of your mind, that's what they call it, because that's the dark side of your mind. The front is the eyes that allows the windows, but the back of your mind is the darkness where we can't see. So he put luminaries there that would, something would trigger. But also, darkness is Lilith, the female god, Adamah, that was created, and we get to that part. But so that darkness is a person as well. It's the fallen angels. But they dwelt here, but he interfered in their world. I hope y'all following me. But then he said, and they shall serve as luminaries. And now what he mean to serve? Now he's talking about a people. He's talking about an existing physical matter, something of spirit. Whether it didn't take flesh form or not, but they will serve. Why would some lights and stuff serve? Serving is an action of spirit of people, something physical. Okay. This is just to show us that the world was not empty when he created heaven and earth. So then we say dominion, center. It says it would be the eye of Yah and the faith of Yah and the faith of life, the process of change through fire. So we look up the word, one is shlita. It says to control, authority, command, mastery, proficiency, ascendancy, dominance, domination, prominence, and take over. So now these luminaries that he said he put in the heaven, when you break down the word for luminary in Hebrew or dominion, he said they would have dominion or dominate. So when you look up the word dominate, it says to control, have authority, to command. So what was he talking about? Now we're talking about spirits. Now we're talking about angels. So he had put a host of angels in place to dominate and control the balance of the upper side of your mind, to keep the difference between light and darkness, to protect you from allowing it to enter into your body. He had already put a thought system in place from an angelic higher realm of consciousness. Shirara is the next word, means to proper rule, administration. Now it goes into administration. We're talking about when he said that they should dominate. Dominate goes into, so now you had some angels and hosts. That goes back to the book of Hebrews when he said being made so much better than the angels, meaning that the angels were to bow down to his creation or to be put in place. So he had put angels in place even in the rebirth, to serve their purpose. Like animals have the purpose, the tree has a purpose, the water has a purpose, and it stays in line with its purpose. And man is the only one who is keep taking nature and the cycles of the universe out of its context. Ribonut, sovereignty, lordship, serenity. No, that ain't. It says suzerainty, whatever that is. But what he's sovereignty and lordship. So why would he be talking about some stars if they wasn't something in a living soul? Because they have sovereignty in the heavens now. They got sovereignty in the top of your mind. He's already creating a whole. This is how, when we get to the part when he said he made man in his image, look at what he established in your head before you even took manifestation in a physical form. Memshah, he said government, cabinet. He set it all up in the mind of this creation that he took out of darkness when he said, let there be light. It said a form from the kingdom. Monarchy, kingship, reign. All of these words come out of the luminaries that he put in our minds and in what we consider to be a reality to dominate you, to keep you on track. All this is still happening before the man Yah put us in the garden. We was on earth, but we hadn't got put in the upper